Hi, Virgo. Welcome to your May reading. Here we are again. Before we get started, just a couple of things. Some really good information or some really good news. We found a place. Hallelujah. We are starting from scratch. When I left Missouri and we moved to Colorado, I left everything with my oldest son so he could he could fill his new house up with stuff, and the last place that we lived in was fully furnished. So we are literally starting from scratch. We got to get furniture and pots and pans and everything. So I have my 6 month readings available, the July through December tarot prediction readings. You can add the astrology to that. I'm making those available early because there are some people that always message me and they're like, oh man, I missed out on it. And they always sell out. So I've got my calendar open for that. But my calendar is open for all readings. So if you need to get brushed up on some astrology stuff that you want to come up, that's coming up for you, I have just plain old astrology consultations so that you can like literally ask anything. I have synastry. I have tarot readings. I have a soul's journey reading if you're a little confused about what direction you're supposed to be going in. So if you've been wanting to get a reading with me, now is a really good time because it'll help us out tremendously. So let's talk about the astrology that's going on for May for Virgo risings. Now you can also listen to this for your Virgo sun as well, but the tarot part you can watch for Virgo sun, moon, and rising. May 1st, yesterday, was yesterday. Pluto began his retrograde. Pluto began retrograde for the next 5 months. During this retrograde, he'll regress back to the last couple of degrees of Capricorn, and he will go direct in Capricorn in October. So he'll begin retrograde in your sixth house and he'll pop back into your fifth house for a little bit, and then he will go direct again in October and then head back into your sixth house. So you may see like some events, personal growth events. This is an inner workings thing. Pluto retrograde is really about the shadow aspects that we we need to face. Like we really got to look at our shadow aspects to really be able to embody them. And then the lessons that we learn with Pluto retrograde, we can embody them when Pluto is direct, and put them into action as well. But so this is going to be happening with your own self-expression and learning to speak up for yourself. You've probably, with that Pluto in the fifth house, you probably really learned how to speak up for yourself, and learn what it is that what your passions in life are, and stuff like that. So Pluto in Aquarius in the sixth house is going to have a lot to do with your work and your career and your health life too. There's going to be a balance, your life and your work life and personal life balance with Pluto and Aquarius. So keep an eye on things like that. May 5th, which is this Friday, we will have the Scorpio full moon lunar eclipse in your third house. So there's some kind of closure around your personal surroundings. Like there may be some family closure. There may be some interesting things when it comes to siblings that come up. There's a lot of fixed energy going on in May. So fixed energy can kind of be stubborn. So you may find that people are digging their heels in a little bit more. You may find that you have like argument or misunderstanding with a sibling. But this is the last eclipse happening in Scorpio for the next 13 years. So it's going to be an intense one. I'm already feeling it, but we'll get through it. I promise we'll get through it. May 14th, Mercury will be direct in your ninth house. You could feel like learning something new. You could feel like your brain is no longer fogged out. We also have Jupiter ingressing your ninth house of Taurus, expanding your conscious knowledge. You may find for the next year while Jupiter is in Taurus that you want to take classes, that you want to learn something new about your spirituality, but there's something about how you want to expand. You want to level up. You want to evolve. And this Jupiter in Taurus is going to bring you a lot of abundance while you're doing that. He'll give you little clues. Jupiter likes to give you little clues. May 19th, we'll also have the new moon in Taurus. So, again, exploring new opportunities to be able to expand yourself in big ways. That may be the time where you decide that you want to sign up for classes, is during the new moon in Taurus. In between the new moon in Taurus and the sun moving into Gemini, we are going to have a very interesting energy that's going to be super duper intense, where Mars will ingress Leo at 0 degrees. Pluto will be in Aquarius, just opposite Mars at 0 degrees Aquarius in retrograde. And then Jupiter's ingress to Taurus will have him at 0 degrees. And it will create what we call a fixed T-square, because it's with all fixed signs. And it's in a T-square. It actually looks like a right triangle, but we call it a T-square in astrology. And this can create some issues in just the collective at large. The energy is going to be really intense. Jupiter square Pluto is really about getting ahead. And there are two different types of people about getting ahead right now. Some people want to get ahead for their own selfish reasons, and they'll do anything and step on anybody to get there. And some people want to get ahead, but they also want to help their other people getting ahead as well. They want to give everybody else a bump up as well. And so that's going to be like, there will be a direct line. Like, there won't be any confusion or questions about who's on what team there. And then having Mars opposite Pluto, that just creates power struggles, drama, ego, banter. Like, that's literally like heads butting at each other. So be very careful of not getting into arguments with people. Really take care of and focus on your own energy. It's easy for somebody to trigger another person during that energy. So the second half of May is going to be quite interesting. So stay extra aware for yourself. All right, Virgo. The power of surrender. Don't we love this time? This is the time of the reading where we're going to get the power of, we're going to get the surrender card. What is it that Virgo is surrendering? Oh, nice. There was another, I don't remember the other sign that got this card. It's surrender to play. So if you have watched the other sign that got this card, drop that in the comments, because I don't remember. I have a really bad memory these days, you guys, but I don't remember who else got the surrender to play. Might have been Sagittarius, which would, that kind of makes sense a little bit, but surrender to play. So it says, take a break from overthinking a goal. Sounds like about right. Do something fun. Play is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. So absolutely. Take a break from overthinking a goal. Do something fun. Play is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. I really need to remember that this month. I need to remember to play and not just work. It feels like lately it's been either going to doctor's offices or working. You know, that's what it feels like a lot lately. So surrender to play. I needed to hear that too. I don't know why it caught me here more than the other reading, but of course. All right. Let's see, Virgo. What's going on for Virgo in May? Oh, I like this. So we really need to pay attention to how much energy or how much of ourselves we're putting out there right now. The first card that flipped over in the deck that wanted to come out was the Lover's card. Love that. This could be that you have a Gemini in your life as well. The next card is the Six of Pentacles. And then we have the Queen of Swords. A lot of times our energy comes out as the Queen of Swords, Virgo, especially if we're overthinking. Mercury is our ruling planet, and Mercury is air. So, this could be that some of you feel like you're giving more to a relationship, or you feel like you're giving a lot to a relationship. And you need to be honest about it. Like, the Queen of Swords is not somebody that minces her words. She's, very honest about it. You could be dealing with a Libra energy, a Sagittarius, or a Pisces as well. We have all of that. But also allowing yourself to say the things that need to be said to anybody. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even have to be about a relationship. You know, with this Lovers card, if it's not about a relationship and it's not about a Gemini, that Lovers card can often be about how you are balancing out your own energies, how you are learning how to calm your nervous system, which is a huge thing for Virgos. If a Virgo can learn, or a Virgo energy can learn to calm down their nervous system, heal their nervous system, and be able to stop overthinking and to be able to stay in the present moment and not have that destination addiction kind of thing. I just talked about that with Leo a little bit too. But that is navigating your own personal energies in a really good way. And part of being able to do that is not giving, like when Virgos give a lot of themselves, they have expectations of people giving back and can turn into a martyr situation. I'm not trying to throw you guys under the bus. I'm not trying to be mean to you guys in any way, shape, or form. I used to do it. I literally used to be that person where I'd be like, no, I'm going to do everything. 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 Because I thought that that's how things would get done, is if I just did everything. And then I would bitch about how I was doing everything. It was my choice, but I was still bitching about it. And part of me wanted somebody to come in and be like, no, let me help you. But instead, what I had to learn was to friggin' ask for help. I don't want to do everything. That is not something, I don't think that I'm right about everything. And I don't want to do everything. And so my lesson with not giving, and I'm telling you guys this, I talk about my lessons because I want to help you understand why you might be acting certain ways that in certain ways. Because Virgos want to be of service. That is our natural nature. That is who we are. We want to be of service. But is it being of service when we tell everybody what we're doing for them all the time? And like, you know what I mean? So being honest is one thing, but if it's your choice to do the things that you're doing, then you need to start being more honest with yourself and start saying no to people if you need to say no to people. The bottom row, we have Justice. It's all major arcanas, you guys. Temperance and the High Priestess. So there's this level of balance that you're searching for. We have Lovers is balance, Justice is balance, Temperance is balance. This is all about balance. And surrendering to play is an absolute balance to what Virgos can normally do. Because we can work, and give ourselves to other people so much and forget to get back to who we are, right? So there's definitely, and intuitively, I think that I kind of feel like you had a nagging suspicion that you needed to kind of take a step back from the things that you were doing for others. That was like a constant more for others. Let's clarify some of these cards. And surrender to play is exactly that. Like balancing the work life with the personal life. That's hard to do. So we have the Lovers, Six of Pentacles. Okay. For some of you, this is a really interesting message that's coming up. So the Two of Wands on the Lovers. For some of you, I feel like you're wondering if there's ever going to be that person for you. Or, you're giving a lot of energy to the idea of being settled down, or you're giving a lot of energy to your marriage, or you're giving a lot of energy to the person that you're with. And for some of you, I feel like there's a second guessing that might be happening, that you're sort of unsure as to what direction to go next. And a lot of times being able to come back to your body and be in the present moment can be helpful for that. Like, what if, like, I don't know what direction I'm supposed to be going in now. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel a little bit lost. I feel a little bit like there's no crescendo in your life. You're not feeling the magic, basically. And so some of you could be also have a Taurus energy around you, but the 6 of Pentacles, some of you are giving your energy to the ideas of what a stable relationship would look like, right? That Hierophant energy is very much about societal standards. It can represent the institution of marriage. It can also represent going back to school. Some of you may be thinking about doing that, but it really feels like you guys are at a crossroads. Like, what do I do next? What do I do next? What do I do next? And I think it's because, a lot of times when we're leveling up ourselves or when we're evolving in our lives, the tension of where we feel restricted can get louder in our lives. And so if you're feeling restricted in your relationships, if you're feeling restricted when it comes to societal standards, I want you to ask yourself, I want you to take a look at what what you feel restricted about. I want you to actually sit in that feeling and be like, well, why do I feel restricted in my relationship? Is it because I feel like I can't speak my mind? Or why do I feel like I'm restricted in societal standards or in my job or, whatever? And then you can say, well, is it because of this or is it because of this? And then once you recognize what that restriction actually is, instead of projecting it onto other people, you can take that knowledge, that light bulb moment, that aha, or like, oh wow, this is why I'm feeling this way. This is why, because if we can't surrender to play, that means that we feel restricted somehow in our life. And if we can't be honest, right, Queen of Swords, right, this is about us leveling up. Very much. Whether we're leveling up in a relationship with somebody else, or we're leveling up on our own, or we're recognizing that we're leveling up and somebody else isn't leveling, it doesn't, whatever it is, right? But this is about being honest with yourself and asking yourself what it is that you feel like is restricting in your life. Can you deal with that restriction? Can you stay in it? And can you deal with it? And can you work through it? Can you be honest with yourself and have the conversation, right? Having the Empress on the Queen of Swords is very much standards. That feels like standards, right? Virgos, we have certain standards. But that's the thing, is we have certain standards for our lives. And if we're not living up to those standards for our own lives, we can't necessarily expect other people to live up to those standards either. So that's why the balance needs to happen, right? That's why it feels like there's some kind of balance that needs to occur. And part of this is about having faith. And not just in yourself, but in the whole process. Yeah, it's been a pretty heavy load. I can absolutely agree with that, for sure. Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands. Not really being decisive, I think. I feel like you guys aren't being super duper decisive this month. And, there are times where I just don't feel like I want to be decisive either. So I totally get that. It's nice to be able to sit down and have a conversation with people who understand you on your core level. You know what I mean? The Chariot with Justice. There's something, some of you might be moving forward on legally this month. But I also feel like there might be some opportunities for you to travel, and that could actually bring you back to a balanced or a even state, a balanced, even state of mind. Either you're traveling or you're moving. I know, we're not moving in May, definitely June we're moving, but we're getting ourselves prepared for that. So that might also be something else that's going on, is, you're preparing yourself for your next move. But this is definitely about being on the journey and really wanting to balance some things out on your journey. 10 of Wands on Temperance. It feels like a heavy load to be patient about things sometimes. It feels like a heavy load to have that balance, that energy balance of making decisions with your heart and your mind, because Temperance often speaks of the same thing, the cups pouring into each other. This is about alchemy. It's about using your mind and your heart to be able to make decisions, and that can be a really heavy load to hold. And this 10 of Wands is saying that you're almost to the end of having to carry the load. And we have to be willing to show that vulnerability too. It's hard for Virgos to show vulnerability. But if we need something, we got to speak up. We have to be able to speak up. 3 of Cups on the High Priestess. For some of you, you know that there's a union coming with someone. The 3 of Cups for me is not about a third-party situation. I know a lot of readers read it that way. The 3 of Cups for me is about a celebration. It's about coming together with like-minded individuals, soulmates, if you will. It's about you and I coming together and making a third energy, which is Source, and we're celebrating it. And I think intuitively, you know that you're either uniting with your soul family this month, or there's something about, you have people around you. You have people around you that you can have a good time with, and that can help pull you out of the seriousness of this world right now. Man, like, if you can't go out and play and enjoy yourself, Virgo, then there are far too many things going on in your life that like we gotta pull back a little bit. It doesn't have to be so serious all the time. I know the world would fall apart without Virgos, but it still doesn't have to be so serious all the time. So, Knight of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Don't be wishy-washy. If you don't know what you want out of a situation, say that. If you don't want to be in a situation anymore, say that. If you want a situation to change, say that. Wishy-washiness does not get us anywhere. It really doesn't. If you cannot make decisions in life, you're not going to get ahead. Okay? I love you guys. I really, really hope that we have a really great May. We did win in April. I know that I won. It was a really subtle win, but it was a huge win at the same time. It did not come with fireworks. It just came with an email. So, but this month really feels like finding joys in the balance of life. So let's do that, and let's let go of like feeling like we have to carry the heavy load, because we don't. I love you guys. Happy May. Bye.